So, you finally built the perfect ship in Starfield, but you're feeling a little stuck because the interior seems a bit off. Maybe your bounty hunting gunship feels a little too cold and lifeless, or your dream exploration ship feels more like an empty freighter than home. My name's Lindan, and in this video, I'm sharing 12 must-have decoration mods that will completely transform your ship interiors, making them feel more immersive and lived in. Even if you already use some or all of these mods, I'll be sharing tips and tricks on how I like to use them throughout the video, as well as a deep dive at the end. If you're new to the channel, I usually focus on shipbuilding guides, but I actually spend an equal amount of time decorating their interiors. With a background in managing residential flips and Airbnbs, floor plans and staging are things I've always taken pretty seriously, and naturally, that spilled over into how I approach ship interiors. So, let's get started. Kicking things off, we have a surprisingly powerful mod, but one that still seems to fly under the radar for many. This is Builder by Naruk. This mod enables collision in the Outpost builder and decorator, which means you can place structures and interior decorations without constantly hitting placement restrictions. For Outposts, Builder opens up a ton of layout possibilities, especially when it comes to creating compact vertical layouts. With this mod, you can attach Outpost modules closer together, more so than the vanilla game. So you can do things like stacking stair modules or halves directly on top of landing pads, for example. This makes it easier to build more consolidated multi-level outposts that feel functional and cohesive, rather than wide and empty. You'll still want to be careful with your hab placement because with the collisions removed, habs can clip into each other, and you will notice this on the inside of the habs. If the clipping is minimal, interior decorations can easily mask this, but just providing a heads up here. When it comes to decorations, Builder helps by allowing placement collisions, which means fewer errors when trying to place objects. This gives you a lot more freedom to stage rooms exactly how you want. While this definitely improves placement for vanilla decorations, I can't confirm if it affects every modded item in the game, but in my experience, nearly every mod featured in this video benefits from Builder's improved collisions one way or another. And with that being said, let's move on to number 2. Better Buildable Walls is one of the most essential structural mods out there, and it's one of 3 mods by Miss O that I'm going to be covering in this video. First off, I want to give a big shout out to Miss O because this mod gives you a full selection of wall, door, and window modules that match the in-game textures used by various ship manufacturers and outposts, along with the other textures that you'd find in various POIs throughout the game. With these modules, you can completely rework interior layouts and create your own floor plans. So if you want to create a private crew quarter space within a ship, or something like a sealed medical bay, Better Buildable Walls is the best mod to allow you to do that. This mod also has built-in collision support, so the various modules are able to merge neatly together, preventing things like floating walls or these awkward gaps that you may have. Another cool item you'll find in this mod are sets of lighting. Since adding walls can block out the lighting in habs, Miss O provided lights that you can add, which will ensure that your rooms stay lit. When it comes to ship floor plans, I recommend pairing this with empty 2x1 control stations or 3x1 engineering bays for the most flexibility, because the empty versions of these habs have the most bare-bone interiors. Now you probably already have this mod, but I'll show you a couple of cool ways to implement some of the modules later on in the video. Next up, Furnish your fleet. This is another module style mod by Miss O and a game changer for ship interiors. What this mod does is it breaks down the default hab amenities into their own individual modules. So it separates the various beds or bunks, lavatories, galleys, and even shower stalls that you normally find in habs and allows you to place them however you want. And these are all categorized by the various ship manufacturers too. You can essentially recreate any existing ship hab with your own layouts, and when combined with Better Buildable Walls, it's really fun and easy to optimize the flow of an interior space, especially when you're flying around in smaller ships. And just like Better Buildable Walls, the modules all have collision enabled, so it makes placement and alignment a lot easier. So say you have a 2x1 hab that you want subdivided into a crew habitation space as well as a cargo hold. Well, this mod alone can actually do that. And just like I mentioned with better buildable walls, I recommend using empty 2x1 control stations or 3x1 engineering bays to have the most flexibility. There was a recent update that also added decorative items, which are static and don't have any functionality, but visually, they're perfect for immersion. There's a huge selection of ship-related wall and ceiling consoles, cargo panels, as well as smaller decorative items, many of which are exclusive to this mod. This is another mod that you probably already have, and just like better buildable walls, I'll show you a cool way to implement this later at the end. The final mod that I want to recommend by Miss O is Modular Outpost Argos Extractors. It's the only paid mod on this list, and it costs 500 credits, but it offers a lot, especially if you're into outpost building. This mod is centered around a mining and industrial theme, featuring Argos branded habs and outpost modules. The habs feature a lot of details like greebling, which, if you know my ship builds, it's something that I love to incorporate. And interiors feel functional and utilitarian, which is ideal for anyone building rugged outposts or resource hubs. One of my favorite modules you'll find in this mod are the landing pads, which kind of flesh out what a typical landing pad should look like. And it's a stark contrast from the vanilla landing pads in the game, which feel pretty empty. But why I mentioned this mod is because it also includes a set of industrial props and decorations that I often find myself using when building the more practical ship builds. It's all really for a specific use case, but I wanted to include it because the outpost habs and decorations are really tastefully done, so consider this an honorable mention. This is also the last module-specific mod on this list, and the remaining mods are purely for interior decorations. Now this mod is, in my opinion, one of the best decoration mods out there. The name pretty much explains itself. It comes with a bunch of decorations and modules that are all functional, making your interiors a bit more immersive. Betamax Functional Decor provides a bunch of individual decorations and decorative bundles that make it easy to stage rooms and different areas of your ships and outposts. This mod doesn't really come with any furniture, as it's mostly decorations, but one of the main reasons why I really enjoy using this mod is because it comes with custom workbenches, along with a variety of matching countertops and tables that all snap to each other. The amount of decorative items from this mod alone is enough to cover most of what you would need for every hab of your ship, outside of the furnishings. So if you want a bar in your ship, there's multiple functional items that dispense alcoholic beverages. If you're a coffee drinker in real life, your player character can also be one too. There's a huge assortment of food and water dispensers as well, and keep in mind, this is all just for sustenance. There's functional decorations for bathroom-related items, various containers, all of which have infinite storage. And like I said earlier, a bunch of custom workbenches, one of which is a near all-in-one bench that I pretty much use in every ship build. It has everything besides a pharmaceutical bench. But no worries, there is a custom pharmaceutical bench, and Betamax 76 also added his auto docks as well, which heal all afflictions. Now I'm a sucker for custom workbenches because the vanilla ones, aesthetically speaking, I think they stick out like a sore thumb in ship interiors. And because these workbenches and countertops can snap, you can get these modules to merge into the walls of a ship hab to save floor space. One of the more common ways I like to do this is by adding as many amenities as I can in a small 1x1 hab ship. I usually start with a furniture fleet bunk, and then I'll merge this Betamax research station into it just like this, and then I'll snap a corner-in counter to that research station so I can snap a pharmaceutical bench to it. You see how the pharmaceutical bench is slightly merged into the back wall? This helps to save some floor space in the ship. You can then snap the all-in-one industrial bench to it, which is also now partially merged into the wall. After this, you can add whatever you'd like. I always like to make sure there's a lavatory, for example. So this is just a great way to take advantage of the snapping ability that these modules provide. This is another mod that you probably already have, but if not, this is my #1 decorative mod that I recommend adding to your load order. Midas Manor is first and foremost a POI mod. It provides you with a fully fleshed out luxury player home in New Atlantis, and I can't even begin to tell you how detailed this home is. Like, just look at how detailed this whole space is. Dielectric really did an amazing job here. And if I wasn't so into ships or building my own outposts, this would easily be my main player home. But one of the best things about this mod is, almost everything you see inside is available for use in the decorator. That includes furniture, different settings, pre-decorated desks and shelves, and the various bundles of decorative items on display. So what are these decorative bundles? They're decorative items that are pre-stacked or bundled together, so you don't have to repeatedly stack a bunch of individual items. For example, you can drop something like this container of medical chems to fill out a counter in your med bay. If you have a bar in your outpost or ship, you can drop this bundle of alcohol and fill up the bar space really quickly. If you need a desk, there's quite a few, and they're all pre-decorated, so you can just plop it down and you're good to go. If you're short on time or you just want something visually impressive, these decorative bundles can help you decorate areas very quickly. Now keep in mind, most of the strictly decorative items are static. For example, everything on this desk outside of the computer terminal is unusable, but that's besides the point. This mod is meant to fill up spaces quickly and make them feel lived in. But back to the computer, that's actually functional, and it doubles as a custom mission terminal. So despite a majority of the items being static, many of the larger items do have functionality baked in. Some of the shelves have storage space, for example. The fridges can store your food, and of course, all of the furniture can be used. Also, just like Betamax functional decor, this mod comes with custom workbenches, along with custom mission board terminals and bounty clearance terminals. So while this mod is mostly eye candy, many items are actually functional. Because these decorative bundles speed up the time it takes to fill up interiors, it's up there with Betamax functional decor as one of my most recommended mods. Skully's Emporium All-in-One is the definition of everything but the kitchen sink. This mod offers nearly every decorative item in the game, from plants to display screens, terminals, furniture, and nearly all of the miscellaneous items that you can loot in the game. It features a healthy mix of individual items as well as decorative bundles to help you get as detailed as you'd like. At first, the sheer amount of decorative items that are added can be a bit overwhelming, but it's all broken down into subcategories, and all of the decorations are split between the furniture, decorations, and miscellaneous tabs. So once you get the hang of the menu structure, finding exactly what you need becomes a bit easier. Like the other mods, I mainly use this to fill up empty space, whether it's counters and tabletops or wall space. For example, when I want to decorate my own technical area or an avionics area, a majority of the control stations and display screens come from this mod. The same goes with filling out something like a cargo hold. I utilize a lot of decorations from other mods, but then detail out the rest of the space using decorations from Skully's. Better Living Outpost Decor is another mod that adds hundreds of decorative items, over 700 to be exact. So it's going to have a lot of redundancies with some of the prior mods mentioned, especially Skully's Emporium, and because of that, I'm just going to go over it briefly. But I added this mod because it differentiates itself by offering a slightly different set of interior decorations and decorative bundles. From furniture to display screens to medical and kitchen items and more. You can think of this mod as a nice companion mod because I think StackGX purposefully tried to include items that weren't available in Skully's Emporium, or vice versa. Some things that I like in particular are the neon display screens and the larger items like the X-ray benches for medical bays. These don't do anything functionally, but they do look really good, and it's hard not to incorporate them into your ships and your outposts. Now, I don't have any Varun playthroughs yet, but I do want to quickly highlight Better Living Outpost Decor's Shattered Space DLC edition, which is tailored to the Varun theme. Why I like to use this is specifically for one wall decor piece. It's this Star Wars-ish looking wall control panel, and it's another great filler item if you have a lot of empty wall space. I like to use it for avionics. If you like to show off your weapon arsenal, Weapon Displays Enhanced lets you do it with a bit more style. It adds new display options beyond the vanilla weapon racks, allowing you to place individual weapons onto their own mounts in both vertical and horizontal orientations. There's a variety of mounts and display shelves for you to display your weapon collection, and some of the mounts snap into place for easier organization, but personally, I like the freedom that the non-snappy mounts provide. The best part about this mod is that these mounts are small enough to go where vanilla racks can't, so you can mount them on shelves, counters, and even display cases, giving you greater creative control over your armories and your gear rooms. And unlike the vanilla racks, all of these weapon mounts are able to display heavy weapons as well, so you can mount weapons like microguns or tools like the cutter. I often find myself incorporating a dedicated weapon armory as well as a tool armory in medium to larger ships. It helps to fill up empty wall space, and it also looks cool to see heavy items like the cutter or the arc laser displayed on a wall. Panels is all about wall dressing. This mod gives you access to all of those control panel style decorations that you see in faction bases and command centers like the UCHQ. They're static and really just filler, but they add a ton of atmosphere. These are perfect for turning a bland hallway into a command corridor or building out a proper bridge area on a capital class ship. From full-size consoles to tiny control buttons, there's a lot to work with, and just like some of the other previously mentioned mods, it's a great method to fill up empty wall space. I like to create avionics areas in my ships, and the control panels from this mod are a staple in these rooms. NEM's Deco Pack is another decorative bundle style mod. It offers pre-decorated tables, shelves, and other furniture that can make a room feel complete with just a few items. As you can see, there's a ton of different options to choose from, and they're all in various categories. It also comes with custom workbenches and decorative storage shelves, all of which offer unlimited storage, so you have a lot of functionality with this mod as well. I pretty much use this mod in nearly every build because it's a huge time saver, and it lets you keep a cohesive look across your ship without the hassle of manually placing dozens of decorative items. Now, just like Midas Manor, most of the decorative pieces are all static and just for looks. But one of my favorite items to use from this mod are those custom storage shelves with the unlimited storage, because they're great for the utility areas in your ships. Now, Mr. Troby has a few Starizon mods available, but since many will have redundancies with prior mods already mentioned, I'm just going to highlight Starizon ship furniture to avoid any overlap. This mod is great for shipbuilders because it offers all of the vanilla ship-related furniture that, for some reason, are not available in the vanilla decorator. Think captain's chairs, metal frame couches, industrial-looking cabinets with actual storage, and what's cool is these are all offered in a variety of colorways. As you can see, there's a lot to choose from. I mainly use this mod because it offers jump seats that you see in some of the cockpits and bridges as standalone chairs, and I like to add these as passenger seating options when space is tight. There are times where I make my own brig using better buildable walls, and I tend to use these jump seats as prisoner seating as well. Keep in mind, when doing this, the brig isn't exactly functional, it's more for aesthetics. And since the vanilla decorator only has one kind of captain seat in one colorway, I just wanted to include this mod so you can have more options. I'm including this as an honorable mention because if you're into modded shipbuilding, you probably already have play stores yourself. But I'm adding this because I want to show you some cool ways to use it in conjunction with other decorative mods and modded habs. In many of my bounty hunter ship builds, I like to use an Owltech 1x1 airlock as the main entryway for a landing bay. The interior of the 1x1 airlock features 4 spacesuit bays, but oftentimes you'll see me convert one side of the airlock into an armory, as you see here. So how I do this is by adding a Place Stores Yourself shutter module onto one side of the airlock. In this case, I'm placing it on the starboard snapping point. This forces 2 of the spacesuit bays to disappear, adding a shutter style door in place. Then, I usually add a clear lift door from better buildable walls in front of this, which creates a nicely enclosed area that I can use for the armory. Using the mounts from Weapon Displays Enhanced, you can fill up the wall space behind the shutter to use as a personal weapon rack. And then you can use the space in between the shutter and the clear door as additional weapon, ammo, and gear storage. And now, the 1x1 airlock contains both my 2 main spacesuits as well as my armory, and this can all be accessed before I exit via my ship's landing bay or docker, which I usually add underneath the ship. Another modded hab that I like to manipulate are the 2x1 garage habs from Stroud Premium Edition. In this case, I'm going to add a place stores yourself shutter module behind the 2x1 Daymod garage hab, which will allow me to add a spacesuit bay at the back of the hab on the inside. So these are just a couple of great ways you can use place stores yourself as a way to manipulate modded habs for additional customization. Alright, so now that you're up to speed with some of the best decorating mods available, I want to show you some cool ways to incorporate them into your ships. Let's go back to that 2x1 Daymod garage. You have a spacesuit bay in the back, but why not also add an armory to this as well? One cool thing you can do is use better buildable walls to create a sectioned off space on each side of the Daymod garage hab for both a weapon and a tool armory. Again, I'm going to use a clear door lift module paired with some side modules to create this. It takes some fiddling around until the errors disappear, but when done correctly, you get a nice area to display your weapons or your tools right by your vehicle. And with a custom spacesuit bay in the back, you now have a complete mission-ready deployment hangar where all your gear is. Since there's a lot of empty wall space here, I just decided to give this a shot. I actually think it makes a lot of sense to have all this gear right by a deployable vehicle, at least from an immersion standpoint. Now, have you ever thought that the Deimos Ares Bridge feels a bit empty? It has 8 crew stations, but in terms of immersion, where are these crew even supposed to work? For such a large bridge, don't the 2 pilot seats feel a bit lacking? I have a few ideas on how to fill out this bridge. For one, I like to create a navigation station on the starboard platform area, and then an engineering or a comm station on the port side platform area. What we're going to do is take advantage of the snapping ability of the consoles. I like to start with one of those flat consoles first, then you can snap whichever ones you want to it, but I like to choose the ones that look like they would be needed for navigation. I added a couple of file boxes from Skully's Emporium here to level out the platformed area, which will prevent gaps underneath the consoles that we snap. Now, the reason for the initial flat console is because I like to use this display screen from Better Living Outpost Decor whenever I can. I also like to add this glowing topography globe decoration from Midas Manor because it looks like it could be a holographic planetary map. Add a couple of chairs here, and now 2 of those 8 crew have a place to work. The same goes for the 2 pilot seats. Let's add some more consoles to this to fill things out. Start by placing another flat console at the center, and then snap 2 outward corner consoles to it on each side. Then choose whichever consoles you would like to add after, but you will need a few more corner consoles to circumnavigate each of the pilot seats. I'm going to add another one of those display screens from Better Living Outpost Decor, along with 2 terminals from Skully's Emporium for the 2 central crew stations. Add a couple more chairs, and in no time, you have a complete pilot station with 2 additional crew stations at the center. And I like to pretend those 2 additional crew stations are remote gunner turret seats. Now let's go back to that bounty hunter build. We have a landing bay leading to the 1x1 Owltech airlock. The airlock has our armory and our spacesuit bays. Let's also place a 1x1 brig behind that airlock as a place to detain prisoners. Since this is still part of the lower deck, which is the same level as the landing bay entrance, why don't we also add a small medical bay in here as well? I think for immersion's sake, it makes sense to have a med bay on the first level of the ship so you don't have to climb ladders just to heal yourself. Thanks to the collision tolerances that Builder allows, we can place a Furnisher fleet bunk at the back of the brig hab. Using the snapping techniques we just learned while modifying the Ares bridge, we can add this initial bench into the brig, which allows us to snap a pharmaceutical bench further back into this corner. And then add an auto dock from Betamax functional Decor, and now we have a small quick access medical bay to treat injuries. Thanks to other mods like Skully's Emporium or Better Living Outpost Decor or Panels, we can fill out any of the empty wall space with some additional medical related decorations to complete the medical bay. And just like that, you have a few unconventional ways to make your ship interiors that much more immersive. Whether you're outfitting a cargo hauler, customizing a luxury exploration vessel, or adding some personality to your bounty hunting ship, these mods unlock a whole new level of immersion and creative freedom. Let me know which one is your favorite in the comments, or if you have a personal favorite that I didn't mention, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, I want to apologize for taking so long and getting this guide uploaded. I promised it a while ago, and it took way longer than I expected. So if you have any questions about the tips and tricks, just shoot me a timestamp and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. My main focus here is actually to provide Starfield shipbuilding guides with step-by-step instructions, so this video is a bit of a departure from my usual content, but I wanted to share something I know a lot of you have been asking for. If you're ever looking for ship design inspiration or build strategies, I try to upload new builds at least twice a month, and I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. I also have a Discord server where you can share your ship builds and reach out for assistance, and you're all welcome to join. The link is in the description. And if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching and supporting the channel. As always, feel free to reach out to me in the comments if you have any questions or build requests, or if you just want to chat all things Starfield and shipbuilding. This is Lindan, signing off. See you in the Starfield.